More on the telecom sector, let's get in Gaurav Malhotra, the Executive Director for Telecom sector with Axis Capital. Gaurav, to start off with, this Vodafone Idea news that has come in, the waiver on bank guarantee. This is definitely sentimentally positive for the company, but does anything change for Vodafone Idea from fundamental perspective?
The end of the day, the company has guided to spending around say 45 to 50,000 crores in capex based on equity plus debt fundraise. Now, obviously, the equity raise has happened. The debt fundraise is something which has been pending, and the management has sort of indicated that there are essentially two issues which need to be resolved for this debt raise. Which first was this bank guarantee issue, which has now gotten resolved. The second is, I think, so the financial institutions also are asking for some clarity on the AGR dues. Now that the Supreme Court has sort of come and given a final ruling. So I think so we'll have to wait for that before we can see how much of the debt Vodafone is able to raise. But their intention is to raise around 25,000 crores of debt.
And apart from this clarity on the AGR dues, as per your understanding, what other support would Vodafone Idea require from the government side to turn around?
See, end of the day, I think so. The AGR is the key one, right? And we'll have to see. Obviously, the reform package has a term to convert the dues to equity. Now, how much is the quantum, timing of it? I think so. All that is to be seen and from what the government and Vodafone management decide.
Now, shifting focus from Vodafone Idea to satellite communication. Now, that has been in news for a very long time now. Some time back, TRI also floated the consultation paper on the same. A lot of comments have come in from all the telecom players and also from Starlink. What have you understood? What is your analysis after reading into the comments, and how do you see satellite communication being implemented in the country?
So, the way we are thinking about this space, it's a very niche segment, right? So, for things in perspective, globally, Starlink has only around 4 million subscribers, right? And the way we are looking at it, that, this is another way to offer high-speed bandwidth connectivity. The Indian operators obviously have fixed broadband. They are in the middle of FWA, fixed wireless access launches also, which is seeing very good traction. So then this becomes another way to offer high-speed bandwidth, but obviously it's much more expensive. So putting in perspective, an average cost for Starlink globally on a monthly plan is roughly around, say, $40 to $50. The monthly data plan for fixed broadband and FWA is roughly around $10. So it's almost 4 times the price. So we really don't think so. This is something which is of any, which will create any competitive issues in the near to even medium term. Obviously, it's long term, and when we say long term, it means many years. The technology, the cost will reduce. Then we have to see how it plays out. But in the near to medium term, we really don't think so. This is something which is of something which we need to be worried about.
Right. So given the affordability, it won't impact the home broadband segment at least. But do you expect any impact to come in when it comes to the enterprise side of the business, the services that Tata Communication provides or Bharti Airtel's enterprise segment provides? Do you expect any disruption on that side?
See, if anything, enterprises will be even they will actually follow the retail segment, because enterprises will require more confidence, not in terms of just the connectivity, but also in terms of the ability to offer a consistent bandwidth speed. So what, for example, Starlink in many markets actually has capped the data consumption to say 1 terabyte per month for consumers. So enterprises will actually be the last ones to adopt some service like that. Wherever possible, they would obviously go for fixed broadband. But that remains the most efficient and the cost effective for high-speed data connectivity.
Right. And when it comes to the telecom sector overall, Gaurav, we have seen 3 tariff hikes that has come in the last 5 years. How are you reading into the tariff hike momentum to continue going forward, given the fact that Bharti Airtel's long-term ARPU plan, or at least now the medium-term ARPU plan, is around 300 rupees, and even Vodafone Idea, if it needs to survive and grow, it needs to see a tariff hike. So how are you expecting tariff hikes to follow through now going forward?
So the way we're thinking about it, see, there have been 3 hikes, like you mentioned, over 5 years, a gap of 2 to 3 years in between. the quantum of hikes has actually reduced over time. Right, the first hike was almost 30%. The last hike was almost say 13 to 15%. But the transmission of that hike to ARPU has moved up quite substantially. When I say transmission to ARPU, I mean how much ARPU has grown as on the back. So the first hike, almost 50% transmission. The last hike for Bharti was almost 80% transmission. So going forward, to see some decent uptick in ARPU, we feel that the headline tariff hike does not have to be very high. So that could also mean that there could be more frequent hikes, because these hikes will not come with major sticker shock. So our numbers, we obviously assume some improvement in ARPU consistently over the coming years, and this will come on the back of tariff hikes and also on subscriber premiumization.
In past, we have also seen that whenever there has been a tariff hike, Bharti Airtel has stand to benefit the most compared in the telecom industry, even when we compared to Reliance Jio. So why is this ARPU gap between Reliance Jio and Bharti Airtel widening so much?
See, it's not really widening. It's just that Bharti has more postpaid subscribers, little better quality subscribers, which helps it. But otherwise, if you see in terms of transmission and all, it's Jio's transmission of tariff to ARPU has been quite decent in the last two hikes, and also increasing, like we have seen in the case of Bharti.
Right. And before we let you go, Gaurav, when are you expecting the next tariff hike to come in, and what is your assumption, say, over the next 3 years? What could be the tariff hike that we could see on a CAGR basis?
See, so it's difficult to put a timeline to the hikes. But from a say 3 to 4 year perspective, we feel that the ARPU would sort of touch for Bharti to around 300 rupees, say by FY28. That is our assumption, and this obviously then builds in hikes on a consistent basis.
Thank you, Gaurav, for joining us and giving your perspective on the telecom sector and how satellite communication could pan out going forward. Well, with that,
if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.